one of the great distractions of the Queensland government has to be to pretend that apparently everything would be okay if COVID-19 leaked from hotel quarantine, but the only people who would get crook are the people who live in Toowoomba. Seriously, this is essentially their plan. Now, yes, Toowoomba has got a very nice airport that would be able to take bigger planes than ones that might be able to land in somewhere like the sunny coast. But the idea that the people of Toowoomba, because quite often they're conservative voting people, they can get COVID because we can kind of lock that town off. But Brisbane can't possibly get COVID because they can't control hotel quarantine. Thankfully, somebody who's not going to put up with this is Garth Hamilton. He's a member for Groom. He is their federal MP and he joins us now. Garth, it doesn't surprise me that the good people of Toowoomba can see what this is, which is fobbing off a problem, trying to privatise it so they don't get blamed for it. So tell me about how locals feel about a Queensland government that can't do the basics like vaccinate people in hotel quarantine, who say, look, if it gets out, it's only Toowoomba.
Look, Paul, you hit the nail on the head. This has just been a big distraction. How people feel about it after 10 weeks of us getting no details from the Premier, and that's what we've asked for since she first threw this idea on the table. We were reasonable. We wanted to hear the details. We weren't like Gladstone, who said, just not in my patch. We were reasonable. If there was a load for us to carry, we were willing to carry it. But we asked for details. What would this plan mean for people of Toowoomba? How would this impact our local medical facilities? How would local police and emergency services interact with that? How much would it cost the taxpayer? These are very simple questions, Paul, that we put to the Premier. We put those questions to her 10 weeks ago, and she has refused to answer every step of the way. So how do we feel? Quite frankly, we feel that we've been treated as if we're, without any respect whatsoever from the Premier. This plan of hers has fallen very flat up here, Paul.
Well, and also, you've written plenty of letters, and I always love her letters always end up somewhere in the media, so let's show yours, all right, which are pretty obvious here, where you've tried to demand the information from them. I know that behind the scenes, in and around National Cabinet, the same conversations have happened, yet no information. Because is there assumption here that there is a privatisation angle to all of this that's going to solve all of the problems? Because you have to actually put detail on it. But why do you think they're not willing to put the detail on it?
I think we've come very clear to that answer, Paul, is because there was no detail. This was not a well thought through plan. This was a back of the fag packet idea that was just thrown out to the press when the Premier's idea for, remember, it was mining camps were going to host quarantine facilities at one stage. And when that was laughed out of the room, she had to come up with another answer. And so, wacko, it's Toowoomba and Gladstone. There was never any detail to this. There was never any conviction in this. And at best, this is an attempt to fob off responsibility for ensuring that these quarantine facilities work in our state.
Well, also, the thing that I find particularly arrogant, and look, I don't know whether you want to talk to this or not, it's pretty obvious what the Queensland government thinks their only reason for being in the next 12 months is, and that is to unseat people like yourself from positions
Absolutely.
in the federal parliament in order to knock over the federal government. That's why, in my view, they went for the lockdown option straight after JobKeeper, right? So anyone who was teetering, let's push those people over the edge. We see the ripping up of deals, despite the fact that there would be minutes of some sort of national treasurers meeting where everyone agreed, and whenever there's vaccine issues. So is this also part of it too, that if somehow this facility actually took place, locals would blame you, and at the first opportunity to vote, you'd get turfed?
Well, I'm quite happy to talk on this. Let's not pretend there isn't a political element at play here. This is very much a conservative seat. This is very much a conservative area. At the last state election, the state seats here swung to the LNP. That doesn't happen in too many places, Paul. So, yes, I do think this is trying to fob this off into a blue seat and out of red seats. Absolutely, that's an element of this. And I think we've seen that. Labor are very, very good at politics. They're very, very poor at governing. And evidence of that would be our incredible state debt. They love the politics. That's what this next 12 months is going to be all about, trying to destabilise anything that the Morrison government does, trying to undermine our messages. And quite frankly, this farce that we've seen with the quarantine facility, I mean, Stephen Miles trying to pretend that this quarantine facility getting a yes or no was the cause of the outbreak in Brisbane, that's absolutely ridiculous. And as you pointed out, He tried to hold the federal government to blackmail, saying that unless we approve this facility, he wouldn't pay his debts to New South Wales. I mean, I called him a grub, I'm calling him a grub again. That's absolutely low politics, but that's all they've got.
How good is this bloke? Write his name down. Garth Hamilton. He's the member for Groom, and he's going to be on this show more times than he would like to be, because I'm going to get him back again and again and again. Good word about you from plenty of mates on our show, mate. Nice to talk to you. Look forward to chatting again soon.
Thanks, Paul. Cheers, mate.